I'll be fair, even though it looks bad, it's not as bad as it seems. Snoopy was only licking himself. I mean, the Ottoman. He wasn't actually licking himself. Weren't you, Snoopy? He's a tired doggo. Yet he has so much time to lick the Ottoman. Cool. Let's get this show on the road. Alright. This is gonna get itchy, so let's just start off the show. He's just gonna keep doing that. Hey, how's it going? So, as you can see, it's my first birthday. It's not a balloon penis. It's just the number one. It's even got more balloons attached. Don't ask. So I watched a film, and I'm going to talk about it. So that's not new. But this time I actually bought it. I bought Serenity. You know, that one that everyone keeps going on about, the Matthew McConaughey one with Anne Hathaway. That everyone was just like, that is a weird twist. It's not even a twist ending. It's just a twist. It goes for 102 minutes. And I gave it like 2.5 stars on Letterboxd. For those who don't know, I use Letterboxd as a review site. And to catalogue what films I've watched. Link in the description, I guess. But yeah, I watched it and I gave it 2.5 stars out of 5. And what do I usually say? I usually, when it comes to Letterboxd, I use a quote from the film, and then I give a small statement. If not, I just say something about the film, or maybe about my experience. In this case, I'd been hearing about this film left and right. Like, everyone had been talking about it, and by everyone I mean, like, people on YouTube and stuff. And my friend Guy just kept talking about it, saying, like, it's got just the craziest twist in it, and he really wanted to see it before he heard the twist, and then he somehow got the twist spoiled for him, and now he just doesn't think the film will ever live up to the expectation of the twist. So I didn't know what the twist was. Yeah, no, I'm going to say what the twist is. Definitely. Oh, probably. For now, I won't. I might put in a timestamp on screen when I get to that point. I'm a hooker who can't afford hooks. Matthew McConaughey says that in a shop to a woman he buys hooks from. And my statement was, I feel like the writer-directors only thought once this film went viral about its major life-changing twist was simply, ha, got him. I didn't dislike the film. Like, it wasn't poorly shot or anything. Like, obviously someone put in the time and effort to make sure that this film was good enough, I guess, on a presentation, you know. Sound design isn't bad, music isn't bad. Music's a bit, well, it has its moments of going a bit over the top. But then you have the script and the overall story. The performances by... He likes the flame. The performances by McConaughey and Anne Hathaway. And the weird dude who I thought was a lawyer. And then I thought was a time traveler. And then I thought was his son from the future. It's none of those. Predicting this twist did not help me. But yeah, the story's a bit... I mean, it's hard to say. Like, with the twist in mind, and knowing having seen the whole film, it's like, it's not bad. I mean, it's one of those films that sums itself up literally in a line of dialogue, which is fine. Sometimes the worst of films do that, like Sucker Punch. But this film is just about a dude who wants to capture a fish called Justice, till he finds out that, or until he, like, his ex-wife comes in and is, like, played by Anne Hathaway, and is like, I want you to kill my current husband because he's abusive and shit, and, like, your son might get killed because of it, and, like, yeah. And, like, the opening shot of this film is the son looking at the camera, very close shot, very, very, very close up. Obviously presenting this idea that, like, he's looking for his computer screen, then it goes into his face and just, like, enlarges into a fish in the water, big tuna, played by John Krasinski, swimming in the water, and then suddenly we're on a boat with Matthew McConaughey, who looks like he hasn't slept in 5 years, probably since doing Interstellar. And it's just like, fuck, what happened to this guy? And he's a dick who wants to capture a big tuna because he's like, it's the beast, which is kind of weird that he calls it the beast every other time in this film, except for the one time he calls the fish Justice, because, like, later in a bar, he's, like, the only bar on the island. They're like, you know, if it's your big fish, you gotta give it a name. And it's like, I did give it a name. Takes drink. Justice. And then he walks away. So it's a film about a guy trying to capture a fish called Justice. And it's just kind of... It's not bad. Like, it's not painful to watch. It's not boring. Like, without knowing the twist, the first hour at least, maybe the first hour and 10 minutes, because it goes for like 100 odd minutes. How long does it go for again? It goes for 100 minutes, so you got an hour and 40 minutes, and maybe the last half an hour is post-twist. But for the rest of that, it's just like kind of building up to something, but there's also these like weird camera angles that come out of nowhere, and there's him sleeping with this woman, and she pays him sometimes because he doesn't have any money, so, like, he's trying to have all these tourists to come in so he can, get them to fish, and, like, oh, I'll drive you out there and I'll show you how to fish, and you can capture some fish and, get pictures and shit. It's just like, but the whole time he's a drunkard and a dick. I mean, I don't fucking know if I don't actually, I never really considered, do I care about this character? Kind of, but not really. Like, like, he's one of those guys who's like, oh, I've had to keep my past hidden from all the people on the island, and then it turns out, no, he's just got an ex-wife and a kid, but then, like, his own past itself is like, oh, you must have done something very illegal to have to, change your name and run away to a deserted island that, like, hardly anyone lives on. It's like, but he has an official business and shit. How could the cops not find him? I mean, there aren't any cops on the island. They literally show that there are no cops on the island, because they never show that there are any cops on the island. I literally came into this video thinking, I kind of want to talk about Serenity. What the fuck do I talk about? Post-twist, at least, I guess, so spoiler warning now. So I mentioned the weird camera angles because it goes from, like, looking at the back of McConaughey, then goes like, and then goes to the side of him, and then goes, and looks at the front of him. And it does that to him, I think, twice, and I think Anne Hathaway once in the film. And it's kind of like, I mean, okay, sure, but then instantly when it did that, I'm like, is this a video game? And then you had the kid showing that he was coding, and then, like, he was playing a video game on the screen, which was an island with a boat, and, like, you kind of get a big, obvious nod to the fact that it's actually a video game, and these guys are video game characters. And, of course, then it breaks McConaughey's sanity, and he starts drinking a lot more, and he starts having these, like, audio delusions playing, where it's like, gaming, like, stuff, technology can still gain its own consciousness and stuff. It's just like, what the fuck is going on? So this kid who lost his dad in the war and who has an abusive stepfather apparently is smart enough to make a really super smart AI, smart enough to be a regular drunk old dick who just fucks a woman a few times. It's like, dude, this is your mom, this is your dad, or at least a version of your dad that you created in this video game. It's just kind of weird. I don't really know how to talk about this film. Like, I'll be completely honest. Hello, Snoopy. Would I suggest it? Would I say it's worth watching? I mean, yeah. I mean, there's if you haven't seen it, if you don't know the twist, it is worth watching, and it's also got some really, really, really kooky performances by Anne Hathaway and McConaughey. Like, McConaughey's just drunk the whole time, pretty much. And he's like, I used to be big, but now in the movie about a fish named Justice. And then you got Anne Hathaway, who thinks she's in a serious film, and who is acting, especially with the writing that's given to her, she's acting as if she's a robot or some shit. Like, it's like, the way, what are you doing, Snoopy? He just rolled over into the door. Good on you, Snoopy, you fucking weirdo. I don't know what else to talk about with this film, like, I mean, it's just kind of weird. Like, I'm trying to think, is there anything good about this film? I mean, it's nicely shot. Again, the sound design and stuff isn't half bad. It's more or less the dialogue and, like, the random times that you just see McConaughey naked and he's asked so many times. It's like, why am I watching this movie? Why am I watching this movie? I mean, I only spent $20 on this. You know, that's not too bad. I don't really know why the cover is like this. Like, look at that design. Like, I don't get it. Like, the Red River and shit. Like, but there isn't a Red River, and it's just like, what does it mean? Is it meant to be symbolic of some kind of divide? And then there's the thing that I never read. On Plymouth Island, no one ever dies unless you break the rules. And it's like, apparently it has something to do with dying. And it's like, wait, what the does it have to do with dying? And then it's like, the guy, like, the lawyer dude, who I kept mentioning, who's just randomly in the film at random times, and you're obviously like, okay, this guy's important, but what the hell's going on? And then when he explains to Matthew McConaughey that this is all a game, he's like, I have this device that helps you catch the tuna. And he doesn't even use it. Like, the character literally just tells him that he's in a video game, and that's really the only point to him. Like, there's really nothing else about him that's relevant. Throughout the whole movie, he's not relevant until he just says to McConaughey, the only time he interacts with his character, well, until that point, and just says, you're in a video game created, but I don't know who created it, and he's like, it's my son, he's a technological genius, says the son who programmed his father in a video game to say that. Yeah, it's, yeah. Yeah, those crickets really tell the story itself. Yeah, I mean, sure, I've lost all enthusiasm to talking about this fucking movie already. It's just, I mean, I get what the point of the story is. It's like, it's about a kid who needs to program his father to, in a video game, to kill the digital version of his stepfather, so he can have the balls to kill his own stepfather in self-defense, which he does anyway, and yeah, so, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no, that's literally all I can think of. I'm bone dry on talking about this film. I can say that he does not capture Tuna. John Krasinski instead captures Jason Clarke and takes him with him. So technically Jason Clarke's character captures the big fish named Justice, played by Big Tuna himself. Yeah, outside of that, it's, his son programs himself into the game, and then voila, you've got a happy ending. Anne Hathaway's character goes poof into fucking oblivion, and apparently, I don't know if he's programmed his father to forget about everything, or what's happened. I don't think it matters anymore. Because it's all a video game, so you aren't really meant to care about the characters, because, even when he does program himself in, you don't care about the kid who's doing the game. When you think about it, what really is there to care about for the kid outside of the fact that he's got an abusive stepfather? But even the stepfather in the game has mentioned that he only ever laid a hand on the kid once. Apparently, I may have misheard or may not have heard some parts of it, but the visual representation that they had was him just saying to he kicked the door down, and then he realized that the kid was just playing fishing on his computer, and then the kid was like, someday I'll have the guts to kill you, or something like that. It's just cool. Thanks for watching. Sure. Bye.